Because of the sins that you have committed before the Lord, you will be taken to Babylon as exiles by Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylonians. Therefore, when you have come to Babylon, you will remain there for many years, for a long time, up to 7 generations. After that, I will bring you away from there in peace. Now in Babylon you will see idols made of silver and gold and wood that people carry on their shoulders and that cause the nations to fear. So beware of becoming at all like the foreigners, or of letting fear of these idols possess you. When you see the multitude before and behind them worshiping them, but say in your heart, it is you, O Lord, whom we must worship. For my angel is with you, and he's watching over your lives. Their tongues are smoothed by the carpenter, and they themselves are overlaid with gold and silver, but they are false and cannot speak. People take gold and make crowns for the heads of their idols, as they might for a young woman who loves ornaments. Sometimes the priests secretly take gold and silver from their idols and spend it on themselves, or even give some of it to the prostitutes on the terrace. They deck their idols out with garments like humans. These idols of silver and gold and wood that cannot save themselves from rust and decay. When they have been dressed in purple robes, their faces are white because of the dust from the temple, which is thick upon them. One of them holds a scepter like a district judge, but is unable to destroy anyone who offends it. Another has a dagger in its right hand and an axe, but cannot defend itself from war and robbers. From this is evident that they are not idols, or that they are idols and not gods. So do not fear them. For just as someone's dish is useless when it is broken, so are their idols when they have been set up in the temples. Their eyes are full of the dust raised by the feet of those who enter. And just as the gates are shut on every side against anyone who has offended a king, as though under a sentence of death, so the priests make their temples secure with doors and locks and bars, in order that they may not be plundered by robbers. They light more lamps for them than they light for themselves, though their idols can see none of them. They are just like a beam of the temple, but their hearts, it is said, are eaten away when crawling creatures from the earth devour them in their robes. They do not notice when their faces have become blackened by the smoke of the temple. Bats, swallows, and birds alight on their bodies and heads, and so do cats. From this you will know they are idols and not gods, so do not fear them. As for the gold that they wear for beauty, it will not shine unless someone wipes off the tarnish. For even when they were being cast, they did not feel it. They are brought without regard to cost, and there is no breath in them. Having no feet, they are carried on the shoulders of others, revealing to humans their worthlessness. And those who serve them are put to shame, because if any of these idols falls to the ground, they themselves must pick it up. If anyone sets it upright, it cannot move itself, and if it is tipped over, it cannot straighten itself. Guests are placed before them just as before the dead. The priests sell the sacrifices that are offered to these idols and use the money themselves. Likewise, their wives preserve some of the meat with salt, but give none to the poor or helpless. Sacrifices to them may even be touched by women during their periods or after giving birth. Since you know by these things that they are idols and not gods, do not fear them. For how can they be called gods? Women serve meals for idols of silver and gold and wood, and in their temples the priests sit with their clothes torn, their heads and beards shaved, and their heads uncovered. They howl and shout before their idols as some do at a funeral banquet. The priests take some of the clothing of their idols to clothe their wives and children. Whether one does evil to them or good, they will not be able to repay it. They cannot set up a king or depose one. Likewise, they are not able to give either wealth or money. If one makes a vow to them and does not keep it, they will not require it. They cannot save anyone from death or rescue the weak from the strong. They cannot restore sight to the blind. They cannot rescue one who is in distress. They cannot take pity on a widow or do good to an orphan. These things that are made of wood and overlaid with gold and silver are like stones from the mountain. And those who serve them will be put to shame. Why then must anyone think that they are gods or call them gods? Besides, even the Chaldeans themselves dishonor them. For when they see someone who cannot speak, they bring Baal and pray that the mute may speak, as though Baal were able to understand. Yet they themselves cannot perceive this and abandon them, for they have no sense. And the women, with cords around them, sit along the passageways of burning brand for incense. When one of them is led off by one of the passerbys and is taken to bed by him, he derides the woman next to her because she was not as attractive as herself and her cord was not broken. Whatever is done for these idols is false. Why then must anyone think that they are gods or call them gods? They are made by carpenters and goldsmiths. They can be nothing but what the artisans wish them to be. Those who make them will certainly not live very long themselves. How can then the things that are made by them be gods? They have left only lies and reproach for those who come after. For when war or calamity comes upon them, the priests consult each other as to where they can hide themselves and their idols. How then can one fail to see that these are not gods, for they cannot save themselves from war or calamity? Since they are made of wood and overlaid with gold and silver, it will afterwards be known that they are false. It will be manifest to all the nations and kings that they are not gods, but the work of human hands, and that there is no work of the Lord in them. Who then does not know that they are not gods? For they cannot set up a king over a country or give reign to people. They cannot judge their own cause or deliver one who is wronged, for they have no power. They are like crows between heaven and earth. When fire breaks out in a temple of wooden gods overlaid with gold or silver, their priests will flee and escape, but the idols will be burned up like timbers. Besides, They can offer no resistance to king or enemy. Why then must anyone admit or think that they are gods? Gods made of wood and overlaid with silver and gold are unable to save themselves from thieves and robbers. Anyone who can will strip them of their gold and silver and of the robes they wear and go off with their plunder, and they will not be able to help themselves. So it is better to be a king who shows his courage or a household utensil that serves its owner's need than to be these idols. Better even the door of a house that protects its contents than these idols. Better also a wooden pillar in a palace than these idols. For sun and moon and stars are bright, and when sent to do a service, they are obedient. So also the lightning, when it flashes, is widely seen, and the wind likewise blows in every land. When the Lord commands the clouds to go over the whole world, they carry out His command, and the fire sent from above to consume mountains and woods does what it is ordered. But these idols are not to be compared with them in appearance or power. Therefore, one must not think that they are gods, nor call them gods, for they are unable either to decide a case or to do good to anyone. Since you know then that they are not gods, do not fear them. They can neither curse nor bless kings. They cannot show signs in the heavens for the nations, or shine like the sun, or give light like the moon. The wild animals are better than they are, for they can flee to shelter and help themselves. So we have no evidence whatsoever that they are gods. Therefore do not fear them. Like a scarecrow in a cucumber bed that guards nothing, so are their idols of wood overlaid with gold and silver. In the same way, their idols of wood overlaid with gold and silver are like a thorn bush in a garden on which every bird perches, or like a corpse thrown out in the darkness. From the purple and linen that wrought upon them, you will know that they are not gods, and they will finally be consumed themselves and be a reproach in the land. Better, therefore, is someone upright who has no idols. Such a person will be far above reproach.